Well, the News Channel 3 I-Team today has obtained an audio recording that some say raises more questions about the administration of justice in Van Buren County.
Over the last several weeks, the I-Team has been reporting on an alleged profanity-laced conversation that court documents lead us to believe happened in the county courthouse back in May. Several sworn affidavits indicate the private conversation happened between now retired Circuit Court Judge Paul Hamre and attorneys Kelly Page and Gary Stewart from Paw Paw. 4 different people on one end of a conference call. The plaintiff and his attorneys in a civil court case wrote in affidavits that they overheard Judge Hamre and defense attorneys Page and Stewart on the other end of the call having what the plaintiffs say in court documents was an unethical conversation about a case. The plaintiff's lawyers wrote in court documents that what happened was a violation of Michigan's Judicial Code of Conduct. Today, News Channel 3's chief investigative reporter David Bailey has examined the audio of what's in question here and joins us now to tell us what was said. David?
Good afternoon. The I-Team recently obtained this recording, and we heard a conversation after the conference call between all the parties was supposed to have ended. The plaintiff and his attorneys, all from Kent County in this case, say in court documents that this recording is proof that they could never get a fair trial in Van Buren County. Imagine hearing this coming out of a judge's chambers. Court documents indicate that last voice you heard there was that of publicly elected Judge Paul Hamre, former chief judge of the Van Buren County Circuit Court. Plaintiff Bob Baker and his attorneys who heard this say the attorneys on the other side of their civil case, Kelly Page and Gary Stewart, were in Judge Hamre's office when this call happened. Baker says he was surprised the judge not only allowed the profanity to happen inside his office, but that he thinks the judge joined in on a demeaning conversation. That 10-second exchange is part of a 40-minute informal conference call on the case. Baker says he recorded the call because he was angry at the court system. Baker and his attorney recently provided a recording of the call as a piece of evidence to Cass County Judge Michael Dodge, who's now responsible for this civil case.
And that's the, I assume, the subject of the CD that you want to put in the record, correct? So
that would be correct, Your Honor.
Another copy was given exclusively to the I-Team. This civil case we're talking about centers on Baker's attempt at collecting a debt. He's trying to repossess hundreds of storage trailers to get nearly $700,000 that's owed to him by defendant Bill Engel of ELC in Van Buren County. Judge Hamre stamped a court order in October of 2012. Baker could collect what he thought was his 600 trailers. But Baker says when defendant Engel hired attorneys Page and Stewart, Judge Hamre clarified the original deal by cutting the number of trailers Baker could receive from 600 to as little as 347, costing Baker potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. The I-Team reviewed the recording, and it was an at times contentious phone call between the parties. Plaintiff's attorney Don Visser argued Judge Hamre didn't have the right to schedule a hearing on Monday, while the judge argued it was proper.
I am the court. I am bringing it. That makes it proper.
37 minutes into this recording, it was the end of the line. Or so everybody thought. The parties in Kent County and Van Buren County, well, neither side hung up the phone, and this came next. Baker said in an affidavit that was Judge Hamre adding to the conversation, talking poorly about attorneys Don and Donovan Visser. After the expletives, Baker said the alleged unethical ex parte conversation between the parties happened next, that specifics of the case were being discussed. Baker in the affidavit said he thought the judge was aiding the other side of the case by telling the attorneys his side of the case.
He started this case and says, we'll take them all and sell them for about $2,500 here. When he first started, then he backed down to $2,000. Well, what he wants, the order was he gets all 600 of them and sells it and keeps all the money. And okay. And Gary says, well, I don't know that that's what the agreement was. So I look at the agreement that was put on the record, and then I look at the order, and the order doesn't say that either. It
What happened at the end of the call surprised Baker and his attorneys the most. If you go back in the first few seconds of this recorded call, Judge Hamre asked if Attorney Visser had sent over a report on where all of these trailers were. Here's the question and the answer.
Do you have that information?
We just got it finished a little while ago, and I'm faxing it to you.
Well, that fax did apparently come in, and Baker's attorney say in affidavits that it was thrown into a file, File 13.
They faxed us at 410 from Visser's office, and Kelly's office got it too. I have no idea what it is. Throw in the garbage. I don't need it.
In light of what we heard, we had questions and sought answers from the people Baker said were part of this. Defense attorney Gary Stewart wouldn't stop to talk to us, but did say,
you know, there may have been some comments after the conference call, but nothing about the case.
Are you sure about that?
I am positive. There is no recording of me having ex parte communications with Judge Hamre.
We caught up with another alleged participant, attorney Kelly Page, as he walked into work at the Van Buren County Courthouse.
But did you participate in ex parte communications? No. Not at all?
We continued Page's questioning into the district court building.
Can you explain to me what happened? Do you know there's a recording of this?
I'm not going to talk about this, David.
Why aren't you going to talk about this?
Because there's present litigation going on. That's
what kind of litigation?
This case that you were reporting about, David.
He had no further comment. Attorneys Page and Stewart were exonerated for wrongdoing in this case recently by Judge Dodge from Cass County. The judge denied a motion to disqualify both of the attorneys, deciding to let the state's Attorney Grievance Commission decide if there was any wrongdoing. Finally, we sought answers from Judge Hamre last month as he was preparing to retire officially this month. We tried to catch him at his house. He left us in the dust, left us with lots of questions. Judge Hamre wrote an email to us the next day telling us he had no comment. He told us in a prior statement, quote, although I do not believe that court engaged in improper ex parte communications, to avoid the appearance of unfairness, I recuse myself from any further involvement in the case. And we know the Attorney Grievance Commission and the Judicial Tenure Commission have been notified of this case and have copies of this recorded conversation. Last month, we reported Judge Dodge in Cass County rolled back much of what Judge Hamre did in this case in Van Buren County involving these trailers. Bob Baker, the plaintiff, says with this new court order, he now has an opportunity to collect what he thought was his 600 trailers. David Bailey, News Channel 3 IT.
We're working on posting the entire audio recording of what happened on this call on our website, WWMT.com. Head to the Raw News section. If you'd like to let us know about a story we should investigate in your community, send us a tip, email us at iteam@WWMT.com.